Hello and welcome to the programme which looks at the Holy Land. I am Paul Calvert. Psalm 145 verse 1 from the New King James Bible says this: I will extol you, my God, O King, and I will bless your name forever and ever. I'm with Graham Emerson, a pastor from Church in the Barn in Penrith, and we're here in the Holy Land. Graham, what have you been doing here in the Holy Land?
We've been travelling all over the place, seeing some wonderful sights, meeting some wonderful people, just praising the Lord and just seeing where Jesus walked. And it's really opened up our eyes to just, you can picture the scene now when you read the Bible and look around and see in your mind where Jesus walked and the sort of things he was talking about. It just opens your eyes a little bit more.
Have you been involved in ministry here?
Yeah, we've done a bit. We have done a football school in Nazareth for a few hours up there, and we did a table tennis competition as well. I just happened to win that one, but yeah, that couldn't be helped. And also here in Bethlehem at Hope School, we did some coaching sessions, we did a couple of assemblies, and we just shared the gospel with those people. And we've met a few people on the way that we've chatted to about the Lord, and that's been good to do that.
Now, you brought some youth over. Are they from your church? And is it important for your youth to come here to Israel?
Oh, I think it's been a wonderful experience for them to see. Yeah, we brought some youth. Well, they're in their 20s. We brought my son Joel. He came for the first time. And Yari, our youth worker, and a guy called Paul. And the wonderful Marsden family that run Sports Reach in the Preston, Lancashire area. They travel a lot, but it's the first time in the Holy Land, and so it really benefited them. So it's been good to work with them as well.
So you would recommend young people coming to the Holy Land?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you can just explain things so much better. They get an understanding not only of what Jesus did in the Bible, but the tensions that are out here as well, and how people feel about the current situation, and also how the Christians deal with that, and about the forgiveness and their hope in spite of all the difficulties is great for them to meet the locals as well.
So will this inspire them to read their Bible more, do you think?
Absolutely. I think as we've been reading our Bible on the way along, we've just seen the places that we've been reading about, and I think they'll go home and they'll read more, and they'll want to read more because they'll know the places that they've been.
Now, have you been visiting sites, but also getting to know the people as well?
Yeah. With the places we've stayed, like here in Bethlehem or Bet Yalla, with the Kasabri family, it's been good to get to know them. Not only what they like, but the food that they eat, which is a bit different to ours. And up in Nazareth, we had the same experience with a wonderful family up there as well. So yeah, we love meeting the locals. Even last night near Manger Square, we talked to a few young people as best we could. The introduction is always to do with football because it's like a global language, but we were able to share a little bit of what we were doing as well. So it's good to give a little hope and point people in the right direction.
Now, you're here in Bet Yalla, and you're not staying in a hotel, but you're staying with a Palestinian Christian family. How has that been?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, it's very different over here because the Kasabris, the family live on the second floor, and then they've built. It's almost finished. The next floor up is Moose's flat. That's the bit we're staying in, and then Elias, his flat will be above that. I mean, it's a building site at the moment, but that will be his. Ferris, the youngest boy, will go down to the original ground floor flat. So you can see how all the families live together, and they want to live together because they're so close. And I think that's something that's missing in Britain. On the whole, that family connection has been lost when people move off to various parts of the country. But I think it's really important. It knits them together. And I think it's important for church as well. When a family goes to church, it's a big group gathering of families together. We had a wonderful meal today at the church as well.
So do you see families very important here in Bethlehem?
Yeah, I think even more so than in Britain, and they're very close, and they live literally on top of each other. I don't know. I haven't asked what it would be like, because none of the boys are married yet. But when they bring a wife into a new family, I don't know what that'll be like. I'll ask those questions later.
And have you been introduced to all the Middle Eastern food as well?
Oh, it's brilliant. I can't remember the names, but there's like one that goes upside down. So they make it in a pan and then they tip it upside down and pour it out. And what we've loved, and I experienced this last time, was just getting some bread, some flatbread, and dipping it in oil, and then dipping it in this spice called za'atar. And I remember when it came 6 years ago, I took some of it home with me, and I went around a few schools, and some of the primary school kids had that experience. I absolutely love the stuff. So I don't know where you get za'atar in Britain, but it's delicious.
Yeah. Now, you are a pastor. Has God finished with Israel?
Absolutely not. I think as we read from Scripture, God has a plan for them. As we read Romans 9, 10 and 11, I mean, it's in God's plan and we don't always understand it, but it says he's provoking the Jews to jealousy. You know, when us Gentiles receive Christ and his Spirit without the works of the law, I think he's provoking them to jealousy. But he's doing a work amongst the Palestinians. As far as I understand, here in Bethlehem, 30% of the people, of Palestinian people, are Christians. So there's a lot of them around. The churches are thriving from the ones I've seen, and it was really good to meet with them. But God's definitely not finished with this land and his plans and purposes. And I think as we read from Scripture, some of it's a bit horrific in the Scripture, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel of Jesus' return. And as we know, he's coming to the Mount of Olives to return and to restore the world to how it should have been in the Garden of Eden.
Now, you've only been here for a very short time, but how do you see the Christian community here in Bethlehem?
Well, it's vibrant. You know, there's a lot of Christians around, maybe even more so than in Britain. They're honest with their struggles here in Palestine, with how they feel the Israelis are taking land, but they say they don't hate anybody, and I think that's really good as Christians, that they don't hate, but they don't like some of the actions of the other side. But I've also seen from the King's Kids in the past that young Jewish people and young Palestinian people getting together, they can get a better understanding of each other and learn to love one another with that understanding.
Now, you've been working with Palestinians, so what is your prayer for them?
My prayer is that they love their enemy. I think it's really easy to love somebody who can love you back. And I think especially thinking about young people who are courting, there's those gooey feelings, and I think that's God-given and it's nice. And to tolerate somebody who disagrees with you and love them is another step up. But to love your enemy is the highest form of love. It's the love that Jesus showed to the people who hung him on a cross. He said, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." So my prayer is that they'll be able to, when people hate them, they will return that with love. And I believe that love overcomes hate because God is love.
And that can change the society, can't it?
I believe so, and it's so much easier said than done. But my prayer is that they will have the strength of Jesus to love back those who hate them or who take things from them, and that love will overcome in the end.
Are you hoping to bring more and more young people out here to the Holy Land?
I hope so. I really, really hope so. This has been a trial run. I'd really love to bring some young people who've just finished their GCSEs back in Britain, just so they can see this for themselves. So there's things I would do slightly differently, or if I had a different group. But that's my hope. The Lord willing, if every year or every other year I can bring them out. I've made lots of lovely contacts this time, and places I know where I can go that would be suitable for them. So that would be my hope. We'll pray about it when we get home and find out for sure.
Do you feel a little bit like Joshua coming into the promised land with a group every time?
A little bit, but we're not going to storm the walls of Jericho or anything like that. We're just going to try and love the people that we come across, try and give them the same experiences of meeting the locals, hearing their opinions. And we're so blessed in Britain to not have that struggle. And I think when young people hear about those things that they go through, to see the places where they live, they'll appreciate Britain so much more. And also just for them to see where Jesus walked as well, and his daily routine, or seeing the views that he had, or when he talked about the stones of the temple, or the wheat in the field. Just those types of parables will come to life.
Now, a few years ago, you also had a young Palestinian Christian come to your church, didn't you, in the UK?
Yes, we did. The house I'm staying in just now, where we're doing this interview, Musa came over 4 years ago. It was a real privilege to show him around. We are building our own church, and we got him to help a lot. He did a lot of painting on this particular wall, and we took him up as far as Scotland, or only as far as Gretna. We showed him a bit of Manchester, showed him the Lake District, and it was really good to hear his experiences, and also just to give him a different perspective of somewhere else in the world, because I think here in Bethlehem, they're kind of hemmed in. They're not allowed out into Israel. If they want to fly out, they have to go to Jordan. So just for them to see, and for Musa in particular, to see something different, I think was a blessing for him. And I know he appreciates it. And we had a lot of fun together as well.
What's your church website address for people who'd like to know more about what you do?
Oh, it's churchinthebarn.org.uk, if I've got that right. But if you Google Church in the Barn, Penrith, Cumbria, you'll soon find it. We've got our sermons on there. We've got all the stuff that we do. We're a lively church. God is at work. Lovely family church. And I'm missing them. They're meeting probably just about now on this Sunday evening. But we'll see them next Sunday.
Okay, Graham, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Pray that God will move by his mighty power in the Holy Land and bring his peace.